Now, today, what you guys are going to do, what I do. Okay? You're going to copy everything that I do. Any words that I write, you're going to do what I do. What? Go get it. Yeah, the sketchbook, yeah, you need that. Unless you have paper you just want to draw on, like white paper.
I don't have white paper.
Yeah, just go get it and come back, yeah. And I'll put it on too. So. Where's the live one? Where is it? How do you get on the live? Go to home. Yeah. Boom. Get on it. Okay. You want it? You want it?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know that already? You want it? You want it? Okay, go to not. W. It's right. Oh, I can't even see it. HARWARD. And then art. And then, yeah. And then go. Yeah, there we go. You guys on?
That's my turn, guys. I stole. You stole. Period.
Wait, you're on two. Right? You need to be in there doing the still life. All the way in the classroom. Well, I said the dance start go on the other one. But you're not in trouble. Okay, just go to the art room and there's the other class. Okay, and then just ask you to get a big board, piece of paper. Okay. Yeah, but just still life in the other room. And you see, are you actually too fun? Okay, so. Yeah, you're not in trouble, we're not mad at you. No, hard work. A-R. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. There we go. You got it. Okay, cool. You on? You're on. You're on. You're on. Okay, cool. We're on. We are on. Here we go. Cool. So at the top, you guys are going to write, see if this is on screen, 1 point perspective. So I'm going to teach you guys 1 point perspective, 2 point, 3 point. Who's learned this already? 1 point perspective, 1 point linear perspective. Okay, where'd you guys learn it? Dwyer? With, not Radcliffe, but what's her name now? Reese, yeah. So she taught you guys this already. A little review. I don't stay too long, but it's just a quick review, okay? And then right here at the bottom, when you guys take your picture for Canvas, you need to take a picture of the, go off the edges of your sketchbook page. So you take a picture of this page and turn it on Canvas, okay? But I want to see the edges of it. Does that make sense? I don't want you to zoom in on anything. I want it doesn't need to be cropped. I'd rather see the edge like you see on the screen that you see, okay? So anyway, write your name down here. Your full name and 9/7, right? 2022. Oh my gosh. And period 4. Okay, cool. All right, so one point linear perspective.
Okay.
And thank Mrs. Hubner, everybody, for letting us come into her space.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Tomorrow is okay if it's still hot. It's supposed to be really hot tomorrow.
Like 100 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even hotter Friday. Yeah.
Can we come
But
back?
Friday,
Can we come in Friday?
you have to share it with Rosa's got a person in here helping a blind student, but we need to
Oh,
put them
okay.
up here.
Okay.
There's just one.
So we can come Friday?
I don't care. I'm in another
Okay.
classroom.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate it.
it's just ridiculous unless they get it fixed.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So I locked the door. If somebody comes knocking at the door, you'll
Yeah.
have to let them in because I'm taking off because I have to go somewhere.
Okay. All right. Thanks. All right. So this is really, really important. What we have to do here, we're using the triangle because now this drawing that we're doing today is pretty technical. Technical meaning we're using a triangle, we're using the pen. It's going to take some time. But this is like, you guys need to know this stuff. I would not be teaching this if I didn't think you needed it, okay? But we need perspective, and even if you guys already did it, we need it a little bit more because a couple weeks, I'll tell you why. Okay, so anyway, what we're gonna do is, okay, well, why we do it, because she kind of laughed, that's funny. So we need it so we can draw three-dimensional objects. So we make things look three-dimensional, okay? And paint things three-dimensionally. So that's our objective here. All right? So let me go up a little bit more. But anyway, what we're going to do about in the middle, it doesn't have to be perfectly in the middle, but what we need to do is draw a horizontal line. So how do you draw the horizontal line? How do you make it perfectly horizontal? What you do is, look, I'm lining that up on the edge of the paper. You guys see that? I'm lining this triangle up on the edge of the paper. So you do that, and then we're just going to go across like that. And we're going to put our horizon line. This is the first thing that we put down. And I flip it over like this. And we line this up like that. And then we go like that. And we go across like that. So this line right here is our horizon line. HL. HL. So let me get closer there. Let it focus. HL, okay? There you go. And that is your horizon line. Perfectly horizontal horizon line, okay? So there you guys go, horizon line. Okay, so that's that. And then, that is the eye level. That is your eye level. And your eye level could be down really low, it could be up really high. It could be up really high, meaning like you're literally in a skyscraper looking down, or you're a worm. There's a worm's eye view. You're down on the ground looking up. So there's both extremes, okay? And we're going to do those later on in 2-point and 3-point perspective. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to get you guys used to drawing things to perspective. So this is 1-point perspective. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 1 point. I don't want it straight in the middle. Put it to a little bit to the left. Put a tiny, tiny little point. Tiny so you can barely see it. Okay, just a little point. Just like that. You see it? It's about to focus. If it will focus. There we go. There's our tiny point. About in the middle to the left a little bit. Okay. And the next thing, this point is called the VP. Okay, VP. What is a VP? It is a vanishing point. Okay, so it's a vanishing point. Knowing perspective is good for drawing stuff out of your imagination, and knowing perspective is also good for drawing things from observation when you're looking at things or painting things from observation. And even if you're using a photograph, knowing perspective is essential. It's like a given. You just need to know 1, 2. The most valuable is 3-point perspective. So I'm just going to rush through 1 point so you kind of understand it. In my opinion, 3 points one of the most important, or the most important perspective to know. So I'm going to introduce you to 1 point, introduce you to 2 point. We're going to go heavily into 3 points. So anyway, here we go. So there's our 1 point perspective. Now, it's this is called 1 point perspective, but on this horizon line, you can put many different points of perspective like we did right here. You see this? So here I put 1, 2, 3, but they're all on the same horizon line, so it's still considered 1 point perspective. And you can go like this, and it still works. You see that? So that goes like that, and it still works. So, and you could even go like this, turn it upside down, and that still works, which is pretty cool. Okay, so anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to draw a rectangle right here. So about in the middle right here, we're going to draw a rectangle. So make sure that this is perfectly horizontal. How do you make sure it's perfectly horizontal? Well, what you do is you look at this line, which is perfectly horizontal, and you go above it, and you compare this line to this line, and we go, is that perfectly horizontal? And I look right here, and I look right there, and I look all along it, and then we just go like this. Whoa, that's kind of big. I don't want it that big, but I don't know why I did that. Oh well, no biggie. So let's do this. We're just gonna do a big one. And then we're gonna go like this. We're gonna, from this, now, at the end of a point, at the end of a line, a point is created. Okay, so we created a point there, an imaginary point, and we created a point here. So we wanna write that down. Number one, at the end of a line, a point is created. Okay, so you've created a point. Just by drawing a line, you've created a point here and you've created a point there. Okay, you guys got that? Put that in your brain and keep it there. Okay, 2, where 2 lines cross, a point is created. Okay, so if I cross 2 points, a point is automatically created in art. Okay, now if we're going to use that point to draw something else, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, and then number 3, where 2 lines meet, a point is created. So my intention with doing this live too is like to save it, and I think I can save it permanently, and then you guys can go back to it, and if you need further help or assistance or whatever. Okay. And then another thing that we're going to go through, I'm going to teach you guys this today too. There are 3 main values. Okay, so in art, we call these things values. You guys call them shades, like a different shade, you know. Is it a light shade? Is it a medium shade? Is it a dark shade? I use values. In art, that's an art term to use values, okay? And then we go, number 1 is dark. Number 2 is medium. And number 3 is light. Okay, so those are our 3 main values. And the dark could be black and the light could be white, okay? Or we could go dark, medium, light, and then we go white. You could add white and you could add black, and that'd be 5 values. Okay. So, there we go. So what are we gonna do with this line now? We're just gonna draw a vertical line, make sure it's vertical. And how do we make sure that this line is vertical? So what we do is we go like this, right? Now look at the gutter. See, the gutter's vertical? We want to line up the triangle to that gutter right there. And we look here, we compare this distance, we compare this distance. I go, okay, I think that's perfectly vertical. Okay, and we put that line like that. And then let's flip it over like this, and let's make this one perfectly vertical. And how do we do that? Well, what we do is we look at the edge of the triangle and we compare it to the edge of the paper. And our eyes are very, very accurate. Okay, so you can tell if it's off a little bit. That's the awesome thing about our eyes and our brain and our bodies. That's one cool thing about it anyway. And then let's go like this. We're going to go across. We're going to make this perfectly horizontal. How do we do that? Well, what we do is I'm taking this line right here and I'm comparing it to this line right there. Okay, so I'm comparing this line to this line right there. And I'm looking at that distance, and I'm looking at this distance, and I'm going, is that distance the same as that? Yes, close enough. I think it's pretty good. And then we have our rectangle. Okay, so there is our rectangle. There's so much stuff I want to teach you guys. Okay, so I did 2 things that were kind of wrong here, but whatever. As far as teaching you guys, but We'll make it. Okay. So we have a point here, point here, point here, point here. So in 1 point perspective, we start with 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. And all 4 of these points, we need to draw, we need to create a orthogonal line. Orthogonal. That's like a technical term. Or a vanishing line. I call them vanishing lines because the vanishing lines are going to the vanishing point. So I like that one. So you put your pen on the vanishing point, okay, or your pencil. And then we line that up to this corner. And then we're going to lightly draw a line, okay? And then we do that again. Pen to vanishing point. Line it up to the corner. Lightly draw a line, okay? Then we do that again over here. And you can also do this. You can go drawing tool here, line that up to the vanishing point, press down the triangle, and then you go like that. Press the pen down, press the triangle down, and we'll draw that, and there we go. So we have 4 orthogonal lines, or 4 vanishing lines going to the vanishing point, okay? And when I pause and stop talking, that means I'm just giving you guys some time to catch up. How many extensor muscles in your forearm? How many extensor muscles in your forearm? 12. You're like, yeah. Okay, how many flexor muscles in your forearm? 8.
She doesn't know her stuff.
8, yeah. No. Okay, so what we're going to do, see how this space is kind of small that I kind of like put us in a weird predicament here? Anyway, we're going to go about halfway right there. We're going to go about halfway up from the horizon line. And we're going to start our line, a new line right there. See where that right there and this right here, this part right there? We're going to draw a line going from here to there. Just like that. You see that? From there to there. So why are we going from there to there? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to give you that answer. The reason we are going from here to here is because, look, this point correlates with this point, or this corner. These are corners of a box. So this corner correlates with this corner. Okay, you see that? These are related to one another. And this corner correlates to this corner, okay? So in the front, this is the front of the box, it goes across. This is the back of the box, it goes across. So which way are we going to go next? So the front of the box goes over, up, over, down. You see that? Over, up, over, down. Okay? So the back of the box is going to go over, up, over, down. Over, up, over, down. Over, up, over, down. Because the front goes over, up, over, down. Okay? Does that make sense? So we go perfectly vertical here. And then we stop right here. Why do we stop right here? We stop right here because, look, these two corners relate. This is the front and this is the back. So we go over, up, and then we're going to go over, down. Okay? So then we're going to go over, light line. And this line is perfectly horizontal. And I stop right there. Okay, so now we've gone over. Why have we gone over? Because the front goes over and the back goes over. And then we have one last line to draw, a perfectly vertical line, but mine's off, I can tell. Mine's off a little bit. But we go perfectly vertical, and so here's the back. There's the back of the box. Here's the front of the box. Okay, let me get closer on that for you guys. There you go. So we're going to go, here's the front, here's the back. How many sides on a box? 6. We're learning. Look, so we got 1, 2, and then the top is 3, and the bottom is 4. Here's the bottom here. Here's the bottom's 4, and then the left part is 5. The left side is 5 here, and the right side is 6. So we got 6 sides. Okay. So there we go. Now let's do this. We're going to darken this a little bit, and we're going to darken that bottom part a little bit, and we're going to darken this a little bit. Okay, so we are only seeing 2 sides here. Let's pretend that light is hitting the front, so here's the front, and that there's no light or very little light hitting the bottom. So we're going to shade the bottom. So if you have a pencil or a ballpoint pen, you can shade the bottom here. We're going to put some values in. So we're using 2 different values. We're using a light and a dark. Or I should say light and medium. All right, just filling that in. All right, cool. So that one's done. Okay, the next thing that I want to show you guys how to do is I'm going to show you guys how to put something equidistant in perspective, how to place objects equidistant back into perspective. The first thing I want to do is I want to check and see how you guys are doing. Oh, yeah, yeah. You can do that.
We're going boxes today, not rectangles.
Alright, see it? What did you go up there right now? Right now? Oh, shoot, okay, well, this will be fine. You can just do this. So when we go back today,
Look right in. You see.
so then we'll go up there. Yeah, you got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Cool. Got it. Got it. All right, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to. Now, I want to show you this really quickly. You see how, now look, see how it changes here? You can see 3 sides, depending if you put it to the left or the right or down below. See, this one's down below. You see 3 sides. And then you can see 3 sides here because it's to the left of the vanishing point. So if it's right above this one, it's right above the vanishing point, so you can only see 2 sides, okay? And you can control that as the artist, which is a pretty cool thing. The next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna kind of jump, we're gonna do this. So I'm gonna show you how to plot things out in perspective and find the middle of a thing in perspective, a box in perspective. Okay, so we're gonna put something on the ground here. So from here, basically what this horizon line tells us is that anything below it is below eye level. We're looking down on it. Anything right on the horizon line, we're looking straight at it, like I'm looking straight at her, okay? And then if anything above the horizon line, we're looking up at it, like the ceiling, like the lights, okay? It's a pretty simple concept, but anyway, it's kind of weird when we're looking at something in real life and we're trying to think of perspective and put it on paper. There's like this strange phenomenon about that. But anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. Let's just do this. So we're gonna go like this, and we're gonna go like this. Okay, like that. So we're just gonna go like that. Now, this here has to be perfectly horizontal. So we wanted to make this horizontal. How do we do that once again? Get as close as you can to perfectly horizontal, and we're just gonna go across like that, okay? And then, you guys gotta pay attention because you can get lost really, really quickly here. I'm randomly going up about like 3/4 of an inch here. Okay, let's go about 3/4 of an inch. We're gonna go across, okay? So you guys got that? These 2 lines going across. We have a orthogonal line, a vanishing line, and 2 horizontal lines going across, okay? And I randomly put those, I put this one pretty low and that one's up like 3/4 of an inch. Okay, now, in perspective, how do you find the center of a rectangular side in perspective? Okay, I'm gonna show you how. This is how you do it. How do you find the center? Watch. We start from this corner and we go to this corner. We start from this corner and then we go to that corner. Okay, you guys following? Now, look at the rule here. It says, where 2 lines cross, a point is created. So where did we cross? Where did we cross here? We crossed right there. Okay, we crossed right here. Dude, I gotta tell you guys something, and I'm pretty stoked on it, and it's crazy and it's weird, but it's super cool. So years ago, I started teaching 18 years ago, and I said, it'd be so cool to have a wireless camera where I could just like have this thing pointed at my art, and then all the other kids have something they can see it, and like, now here it is, just, it's super cool. I don't know, it's really neat. Okay, so anyway, that is the new point that we've created, right? You guys following? Okay, now follow along very, very carefully. Don't look to the left or the right. Look right down where we're going. Put your pen right there. Put your drawing tool right there. Okay, now line up your triangle to the vanishing point. You guys following? Okay, pay attention. Here we go. We're going to go all the way to the vanishing point. Now, we've just created a new point right there. Okay, you guys following? This is really important right there because the last class got a little lost. Okay, now, this is a happy point, okay? Put a little happy face right there. Happy point, okay? That's a happy face, happy point. That's just to tell you guys, hey, pay attention to this. So we're going to go back to this corner now. We're going to go back to this corner, okay? And this is how we find. So the first thing we did was this. This is the center of this rectangle, which is in perspective. Is this a rectangle? Actually, no. But in perspective, it's a rectangle. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's the center point. That's number one. That's the number one rule, another trick that we found out. Now we're doing the equidistant part. Now we're making things equidistant. We start here. We line that triangle up through the happy point. Okay, press that triangle down. You guys following? Pay attention. We're going to go, 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 go. Stop right there. Now, where two lines meet, a point is what? Created. Okay? So now what we're going to do, we don't even lift that. Watch. We're not even going to lift that. We're going to take our triangle. Are you following? We're going to make sure that this is horizontal. And we go straight across. And then we stop. You guys following? All right, cool. So now this is a new rectangle that you've created. So let's go like this little arrow. We're going to put new rectangle. Okay, we're going to label that new rectangle because we just created a new rectangle. Okay? Equidistant in perspective. Now, what's this good for? Like, let's say you want to do a road and you have light poles, but I don't know who does that, or archways, or maybe you want, I don't know, what's equal? Like these things are equal in perspective. The computers are equal in perspective. If I was like this, those are equal in perspective. If I want to draw that, or the flags, or windows are equal in perspective sometimes. But anyway, I don't even know what it's good for, but it's just a cool trick. So now look, also see this right here? What is this? It's a new point, right? We created another new point. Where two lines cross, a point is created. So there's that rule up there, okay? So now we go to this corner. You guys following? Follow along with me. So we're going to go from this corner. We're going to take our triangle. We're going to go through that point. See that? I'm lined up this point with that point. And we're going to draw a line, draw a line, draw a line, draw a line, draw a line. And we're going to stop right there. You see that? And then we're going to go across horizontally. Perfectly horizontal. Perfectly horizontal. And stop. There we go. Now, what did we just create? We just created a point right there. There's a happy point. There's a happy point. There's a happy point. I don't even know what I'm saying, happy points, but I'm just calling them happy points, okay? That's just what I'm doing today. That's just what I'm doing right now. I'm just calling them happy points. You guys are playing along. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to keep doing this all the way back, all the way to the distance, all the way to the horizon line. What is this horizon line? Like, where do you see this in nature? Ocean, right? You go out to the ocean, the horizon. That's a good answer. Yeah, it's true. Go out there, you're watching the sunset, right? Perfect. Horizon line. And, or you go to the mountains, right? You see something in the distance, like there's mountains or the desert, like something way off in the distance, right? So anyway, it's like where the world starts to turn, right? Supposedly in that way. So it starts to turn away from us. We can't see it any longer. There we go. So we're going to keep going here. Start here. There's our new point we created. Okay, let's line that up. Draw a line. Stop right there. And then where do we go? Go right. We make a horizontal line. And then we stop right there. And we just did what? We created a new point. There's another new point right there. Okay, so there's another new point, another new happy point. I don't even know why it's calling that. Maybe I'm trying to get you guys to remember that. And then we move back to this corner. And we're going to keep doing that all the way back. And I'm just going to start going here. And you guys, and I'm going to go over and stop. And there's the new point. And go back to this corner and line these up and over and stop. And there's the new point. Go over. There's the new point. I'm going to mark it. Go back to this corner. And I line those up. Line these up. Go over and stop. And then I go across. And then there's the new point. And then I go back to this corner. You guys got it? New point. I guess I'll find out. I'll see how I did teaching. And then there we go. Let me go across. New point. Corner. Line it up. Across. New point. Corner. Line it up. Draw it. Across. New point. Corner.
Do you mind if I fold tablecloths while you're doing that?
Oh no, we're
I just wanted to
we're
make sure.
we're just in the art zone, man. We're just
All good.
we're just being all technical art. It's all good. Corner, and then we go back, and then this part right here. Check what I do over here. I'm just gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can kind of see. So here, right? So what's happening? I have a question first though. What's happening from here to here and here to here with the distance? This distance is greater than this distance, right? And this distance is greater, it's bigger than this distance. And this is bigger than this. And this is big, so it's getting smaller, 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 smaller. So here I kind of fake it, and I just like put some lines in here, and I go like that. So I kind of fake it in that last part, okay? But it looks right, so hey, if it looks right, that's what we care about, right? If it looks right, that's what we care about. Okay, so there we go. That's how we find, so this, right, let's draw an arrow here. They go, this is the middle of, oh, this is the middle point. Let's scratch that out. This is the middle point of a rectangle in perspective. Okay, so this point right here, this is super valuable. Finding a rectangle in perspective, that last little bit, you can fake it, yeah. But make it look good.
Okay.
But make it look accurate. Make it look like it's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Finding that middle section is really, really valuable, okay? And I'll show you guys why later on. We might not get to that today, but anyway.
This is the middle point in a rectangle perspective.
Oh, here. There. Okay, there, I zoomed in on it. So this point right here, this is the middle point of a rectangle in perspective. So this is the rectangle right here. Okay, so that's the rectangle right there. And that comes in really, really handy when you guys are drawing stuff, when you're figuring out, like, when you're drawing all those cars and motorcycles and mechanical things, you know. I guess the human head could be like, that could be really helpful, because the human head is like a box. And you want to find the middle section of the human head in perspective sometimes. But you don't have to put a horizon line down, and you don't have to do all this. This is kind of like, this is good to know for, like, I don't know if you're doing stuff out of your head, like imaginary stuff. And it's good to know because if you're going to paint a landscape or a seascape, or because even nature can be geometrical and things can be like boxes, like has a top surface and a side and a bottom. So knowing perspective, it's handy. It's handy. Just knowing that there's a side and a top to something, and thinking about, okay, this is a top, and this has a side, and this is an underside, and this has a left side or a right side. Like when you're drawing the human figure. So let's do this, because I love drawing the human figure. Let's draw one more box, and then we'll go into then I'll show you guys how, like, if we have time. When are we out of here?
11 is this, or 126.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so we got like 15 minutes. Okay, so let's draw one more box over here, and then I'll show you how this stuff kind of relates to the human body, okay? Which I love drawing people. It's super fun and cool. So anyway, I think it is anyway. All right, I don't really like that pen. It's a little like, it's kind of bothering me. Anyway. Okay, so let's draw a box over here. Now, make sure that's not lined up to the vanishing point. So here's our one vanishing point. Make sure that's to the left of the vanishing point. So we're just going to put a box right here. Okay? Put a box right here. You see, I don't say cube, I just say box. Because a box can be irregular. Okay, so put a box right there. And we have 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to practice doing this. And then we're going to go to the vanishing point. Dude, this will be really cool because when we go plein air painting, when we go outside, we can get in a shady spot, and you guys could watch my demo on your phone, or you could watch my demo on like on the Chromebook when we're outside. So it's really, really cool. I was telling them how cool this is.
I would much rather be doing what you guys are doing.
No, than folding cloths. No, I'm just saying, like, the technology is so awesome that we can do this. Okay, so I drew the box, and then we drew the line from each corner. We went to our vanishing point. These are our vanishing lines. Oh yeah, these right here. We didn't write that down. So these lines right here are called vanishing lines or orthogonal lines. So if you want to get all art geeky and totally geek out on it, you go, drawing some orthogonal lines. You know, I like to get I'm a total art nerd, so anyway. I like all this stuff. It's good. Gets your mind off things, you know, for a little bit. Then you got to go back to reality. Or it is reality, too, at the same time. So, all right. So now what we do is we get to just choose, hey, where am I going to end this box? I could end this box right here, or I could end this box right here, or I could end this box, you know, wherever I want. Where do you want to end your box? So, you know, I'm going to end this box right here. I'm just going to go like that. And does that line up to that? Are these horizontal? Yeah. And then there's a new point right here, and there's a new point right there, right? So which way do we go? Where are the next lines drawn? What direction? So we just drew a horizontal line. The next two lines are going to be drawn in which direction? Vertical, yeah. So this one goes vertical. This one goes vertical, just like that. And this one goes vertical, just like that. And how do I know it's vertical? Because I'm looking at this line, I'm looking at this line, and then I go, is it vertical? Yes, I think it's pretty good. It's kind of crooked a little bit. So here's a vertical line here, here's a vertical line here, and then these 2 points, we've created 2 new points, and then that's going to go where? Across. You're right, everybody. It's going to go across. And I'm drawing all these lines lightly. I'm not drawing them super dark. Now, if you do draw a dark line, which line would be the darkest? The outside, yeah. And or what would be okay, so if we had a thickness of line, which line would be the thickest? On this box here. Huh? Yes, the front ones would be the thickest lines. So we would go like this, because why would these be the thickest lines in the front? Because they are what? No. They are in front. They are the closest to us. So that's why we would exaggerate these lines and make them thicker and darker, right? We pop them out. And then we go, hey, this is what's important, right? So if you're creating a work of art and you want a certain part to be, here's a quiz. You're drawing an artwork and you want one part of the artwork to stand out more than the others. How do you do that? And it's black and white. You make it darker. That's right. That's right. You guys make it darker. How else could you make it something stand out? There's this word in art, and I'm going to see if you guys can guess it. I'm going to put some words down right here. Ready? It starts with a C. Contrast, yes, she guessed it. It's contrast. Anywhere with the greatest amount of contrast is going to draw the eye. We're biologically just engineered that way to see what has dark, and light, and we look there first. So contrast, yeah. That's really, really important in your art, especially if you are doing realistic art. But it could be anything. It could be graphic design or whatever. Now, let's talk about light for a second. Let's just pretend that the light is hitting, well, this one the light was hitting the front, so I was just being lazy. Let's say the light's hitting the top, so this is going to be light. And we'll have this dark, put a D for dark here, and this will be medium, M for medium. So we'll make this medium value. And you can see that I'm not moving my wrist, I'm just moving my arm. And here we're not even talking about shadows yet, we're just talking about perspective, but you can plot shadows in perspective. I don't know if I'll teach you guys that or not. I don't think I will, honestly. Okay, so that's medium value, and this is going to be dark, so this is going to be darker than the other side. Make sure this is darker than the other side, okay? And then it starts to look more three-dimensional. How cool is that? All right, so we're going to go like that. Boom. Okay, so we got our light side, we got our medium side, and we got our dark. Okay. Okay, so we got about like 5-7 minutes left. I got one more thing at it. There's something cool I want to show you guys. It has to do with boxes and portraits. I think you like it. Oh, but we got to go back up there because I got to get... Who needs a sketchbook? Over there, right? You just need it? Okay. Can you come back to the... When the bell rings, can you come back there with me and we'll get you one? Okay. Cool. Oh. Can I what? Oh, yeah, crooked line. We'll stand up. You'll see. Sometimes you're too close to your art. Sometimes you're too close to your art and you have to stand up, like literally get away from it and like look at it, whether it's on a wall, like that's why artists stand up and step back from their art. Or if you're at a computer screen, like doing digital art, you're like this, you have to like get back, or you have to zoom out so you can see the whole composition. Or you have to like literally lean back from your art to see the total thing, to see what's working and what's not working, you know? You don't see it. You stand up. That one?
This one?
Yeah, this one is the one underneath that.
But it doesn't want to go all the way there.
Let me sit down. Let me geek out on this stuff. I like that word. I've been using that lately. What's happening? What did you do wrong? Maybe we'll be done for the day. Okay, I think we're done for the day. Okay, I want you guys to draw, listen, this is what I want you to do. Draw one more box right here, a little baby box right here in this space, okay? Draw a baby box right there. No, right here. I want you to do it over here. I want you guys to do it over here. A baby box right there, okay? While I just walk around. Look, you draw, look, here, I'll show you. You're gonna draw a baby box right here. I'll do it really quick. See, I'm gonna teach you guys how to do freehand. Okay, so you're gonna draw a baby box. Right. Wait, what am I doing wrong? There. I like this pencil. And then you can smudge it. You can do the whole smudging thing, you know? Smudgy, smudgy. Okay, so you can do a little baby box right here. Baby, I'll label that baby box. Okay. Yeah, you have homework to do. You lost so much homework. You have so much homework. All kinds of homeworks to do. Okay, so that's fine. And then you went like this. And then you went like that. Okay. And then you go straight down. That.
He did it on the other side.
What did I do?
Did it wrong.
We're doing all the lines.
What you did was you stopped this prematurely. You stopped it here. You went here and stopped it here. What you should have done is gone here to here and then here. And that's still it works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you trimmed this line off of this line. And this one, because it's so compressed,
Yeah.
it creates an optical illusion and it forces your brain to be like, no, I must end the line here when it should have ended like down here.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because you were so close. If I drop a vertical line straight down, you're very, very close. You don't have much room to work with. So it's just like screwed up. That's weird. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So,
Thank you.
yeah. Did you do your baby box? Oh, throw the stickers away. Do you have your name in the back? Oh, that's fine. You can have it front or back. I don't care. As long as your guys' names in the sketchbook, you might want to put. Yeah, so this one. And I'm gonna try and put this. Oh, I gotta go. Stop. Stop live. Stop streaming.